which means more than likely we will see Lwx nabbing this Kaisa for himself, and then you can try and pair it with something in that bottom side of the map. We've seen like the Gragas's, we've seen Leonas. Even if you want to take the Nautilus for yourself here, there's a lot that you can go for as FPX.
Yep, they are going to look and lock in that Kaisa. Probably, as you say, look to pair it up with something as they flick through a couple of different champions. You know you're going against the Hecarim. It is almost certainly going to be the Udyr. Craig gets excited. You got excited. I don't think we're going to see the Lee Sin.
I love how he doesn't just like, not even an ounce of emotion on his face.
I don't buy into the hype, all right? The Udyr is going to be picked in this meta, and Udyr is in fact locked in. So now for RNG, you know you're going into the Kaisa, and they lock in the Jayce again. It's early rotation, Jayce alongside the Xayah.
Yeah, shout out to Ryze, who was talking about that jungle matchup and the jungle meta being stale baguette that you could stab people with. It's that old. But honestly, I like this here coming through from RNG, right? You're getting, again, this Jayce. You're forcing this Irelia pick to come out here for FPX, and it means now you can ban away supports once again as RNG. Guarantee that bottom side play, although it kind of is a double-edged sword in this situation because you don't have your own supports locked in as well, so you're nearly banning against yourself. But honestly, I think as RNG here, you got good engage, you've got great damage tools in both the Xayah, who does well into the Kaisa, and this Jayce in the top lane.
Yep, you're banning away the Orianna from Doinb. I like that quite a lot. Doinb has shown the pure mastery on the champion, knows exactly where he wants to go, knows exactly what he wants to do with it.
Here's the special thing though. Nuguri's already locked in his champion, man. They just give Doinb the counter pick. You ban the Viktor here as RNG, and suddenly we're into strange territory again. We're into the Kleds, we're into the Nocturnes, we're into the Renektons. The dark technologies are back for Doinb, and it's easy to go for as FPX because you know they're going to take their support here on this next rotation. Chances are they're going to go for something like Leona, make sure Chris has that engage that was so desperately lacking in that last team fight, or in that last team play, and now we can look towards a counter pick for Doinb.
Yeah, I like this though as well from the side of RNG, recognizing if they ban the Viktor, they could just get the Udyr picked away from them or something like that. So they're giving themselves at least a reasonable option, if you will, as Silas is going to be the 5th and final ban for RNG. And FPX, as I said, could go for something like heavy CC. You talked about the Nautilus, the Leona, they're going with the Leona.
Yeah, and I mean, look, the Leona just does better into the Nautilus, so if Ming does decide to go for that, you already have that counter pick. And either way, any of these champions that you'd really see that offer that engagement on the bottom lane, just lose out to Leona. It will be the Nautilus that they go for now. At least I know Core JJ considers the Nautilus a counter pick into Leona, but it's more of a kite back rather than a go in tool. So especially for this bottom side of the map where you're looking to try and push in aggressively and trying to see if you can play through the range advantage that this Xayah has, that's not really going to facilitate it with the Nautilus there.
No, they're going to facilitate it, but the Ryze has been locked in here for RNG. Is FPX just running through their options? They've got a couple of different things they can look at. They've got a couple of different options available to them. And again, like you mentioned, it is a pure counter pick here for Doinb if he wants to go for pretty much anything that's on the board.
It looks like he will just go back towards stock standard. I mean, the Viktor has been the pick that he's liked the most. It gives him a lot of control in this mid lane. He gets a lot of push level 1 as well, which is going to be great. So honestly, I think you've got a lot here you can work with as FPX, but certainly it feels to me, again, like you give the opportunity for Tian to try and play up through this side lane. You've got strong control coming through in the mid lane for this Viktor. You do have to be careful, though, about Cryin, especially when he's on something like the Ryze, the realm warp towards top side to try and turn that matchup back in your favor if you're an RNG fan.
Well, everything is locked and loaded as we start making our way towards game 2. And I don't want RNG. This is kind of a test for RNG, in my opinion. You know, like you've gone through multiple different, you know, kind of best of 5s. Obviously, our seasons are best of 3s. I want to see them try and bounce back. You've got the Hecarim this time, so a little bit of an easier guaranteed engage. And you've still got yourself a plethora of damage from all lanes.
Yeah, I mean, look, it feels like you're kind of taking the same composition essentially as last time here for FPX, just adding in a better engage tool. So certainly I don't really see... I mean, it kind of sucks that you've lost the Hecarim, but it's still going to be fine with the Udyr. Whereas when you look across at RNG, we're still looking to see if they can play through this Jayce and Xiaohu in the top lane. They can then look to try and outnumber you in side lanes, and when it comes towards rotations, especially being able to use this Ryze. And when you look towards the Xayah, she's just great at wave clear, so you can just plonk her down in the mid lane and let these solo laners do the work for you.
I will go back to something you did say earlier on the day, Lwx's Kaisa. You said he's your most favorite person to play this champion because he is an assassin in these team fights. He knows when to go in, how to perfectly set himself up so he's not caught out, and this guy just looks like a god when his pick is on him.
FPX versus Ore in the regular split, go and watch that assassination. When you look towards RNG versus FPX in our playoffs in round 4, go and watch Lwx assassinate Gala on his Tristana. This guy is so damn clean when he gets his hands on this Kaisa. He may not be the best. He may not be like, when you look at like the likes of Jackie Love has his own skin and stuff, it's not quite there, but certainly he's my favorite.
Crowd is ready. They were given the best of introductions. In case anyone was falling a little bit asleep, they got themselves right back up. And the noise is honestly deafening when it comes into it.
How do you fall asleep after that game?
Exactly.
How is that a thing? Get yourself checked for narcolepsy or something. That is ridiculous. But we are into game number 2, and especially when RNG already won down in the series, they'll need to find themselves a bit of a spring in their step, because they looked good at the beginning of game 1 where they were playing through this top side, shutting down the early game plays from FPX, and it feels like this is now take 2 for RNG to offer a similar game plan, but with Cryin on this Ryze, at least they've got more punch to offer into that top side of the map.
A little bit more punch for the top side, also a little bit more kind of point and click CC. The gravity field is what I call sometimes CC, something that they can come down, sometimes they can't. As we move on towards the early skirmishes and early laning phase, it's going to be both junglers starting on their bot side and pathing towards top. And
I want to go back to a point that Lyric made on the desk, since we will be looking at this top lane matchup quite a bit. He was talking about, Xiaohu versus Nuguri, the difference between these two guys in playoffs. And hold on, actually.
Oh, we're going to see a little bit of action. Yeah. Just both supports going in on top of the AD carries. It is probably Crisp who takes the worst of that particular trade. But yes, as you were saying.
But yeah, because we haven't seen RNG playing as heavily towards Xiaohu in this top lane, when we look at the raw stats for these guys, it's Xiaohu.
Goes back into the skies. Still be able to back himself up. So again, this is kind of what we saw in the last time. But again, you have to be so careful here of your Xiaohu, because if you go too far forward, Nuguri will punish.
Yeah, I was waiting to see where Tian was going to make his name known, because there is always the opportunity, especially when you got the push from Doinb in the mid lane, to try and go for an invade or even go for something on this top side with the 3-man play.
Oh, they know he's there, and he's straight onto the blue buff. You can see there he's just going to try and steal that camp away as quick as he can. No real contest going to be able to come out here. I want to say that. Nope. Going to be able to smite it away, and now Tian should be able to get out. The Ghost has been used here by Wei, and that's just straight up just kind of, wasting a little bit of a summoner there, trying to make something happen that wasn't gonna.
Yeah, I mean, in the 1v1, Wei could have been able to kill Tian, but that was not a 1v1. Nuguri full push top side. Doinb had already rolled up from the mid lane as well. So nice job here from Tian, and it's very reminiscent of how they found their advantages in round 4, was playing through this jungle. Oh, Nuguri's hunting.
Nuguri, he's hunting. He doesn't have turret aggro just yet, and he's able to dodge it. Flash for flash. Nuguri is there. Now Wei can't catch up to him. He doesn't have Ghost. He has a hope or a prayer. This is why this guy is so good on this champ.
And why you probably should have kept your Ghost this way. Maybe if you hadn't overextended, you could have made that play in top. But Nuguri in the 1v1 gets the solo kill, which brings me nicely to the stat I wanted to bring up also long ago. Xiaohu has been on average in playoffs minus 16 CS and minus 530 gold at the 15-minute mark. When you look at Nuguri has been up 8 CS and plus 607 gold at the 15-minute mark. He has been dominating his top lane counterparts, and this is why FPX were able to win out when it came to round 4. They were able to turn this into a 1v1 in that top side of the map, and Nuguri just beat out Xiaohu because he's a much stronger top laner. He's a world champion top laner.
The current world champion top laner is Nuguri. No flash on him this time round, and he will get knocked back to the sky. Oh, Nuguri! 2v1, and he comes out as he tries to continue on the fight. Almost comes out with a double.
There are people who thrive under pressure, and those people become the world champions. And when you are sitting on the stage in front of 15,000 people in Wuhan, that's when you need to stand up. Maybe not take several terror shots, but certainly stand up and be accounted for as you're able to turn around these plays.
What a start for FPX in this top side, really hitting home. Oh, you want to play top side? No, I play top side. He doesn't even need jungle intervention.
And I want to bring it back to what Lyric said on the desk. He was like, hey, look, we look at game number 1. the only way I really saw FPX getting a lead was Nuguri and Tian getting ahead. We just said this is a very similar composition, and Nuguri's now firmly ahead in this top lane. He is diving the tier 1 towers. He is 1v2ing in the top lane, and now you've got to bring the cavalry as RNG.
Yeah, you flash forward, you try and get it on top of Doinb, the hook lands! And they will be able to pick up that kill. That is exactly the kind of response you needed of your RNG. And again, it's the man in the bot lane, Ming, who's able to set him up.
Nuguri needs to back away from this. You've already got Cryin here, Wei as well, Ming moving up towards top side. You can realm warp in towards this top lane with the level 6 now hit from this Ryze.
Have the level 6 and Ming and Wei in tow. You can see the pings going down. The realm warp, you're a prophet, my friend, as they try and make this one work. They have the flawless duet to land onto 2. Nuguri, how are you going to get yourself out of this one? He's Houdini, as he does end up going back in. He's trying to make it work.
No!
Another hook!
Wait,
and
he gets it!
Xiaohu goes down! 4v1! Nuguri comes out with a counter kill!
He is inhuman. He is a monster. This guy is a beast. How, in a 1v4, do you manage to get the turnaround kill?
No words. No words. I should stop being surprised at this stage, Dagda. I should stop having these massive screaming hype moments, because this guy does these things on a daily basis. This is his 9 to 5.
Oh god, it's actually disgusting. Now Tian will pop that horse in the face, say no thank you. I'm gonna fly away here, and god damn, FPX, you are looking really good. And honestly, like, this isn't even so much the fact that, like, yes, we've got a little bit of pressure coming up here from Tian, but like, Tian isn't in this picture. This is just Nuguri being able to turn this around in the 1v1. And even when you look at where the wave is positioned, you are going to lose so much here as Xiaohu thanks to this kill going down. And honestly, I thought it was going to be the kill on towards Cryin, but the Vanguard's edge hit there in the top lane gives the opportunity for Xiaohu to turn that play around. Now you're level 5 as Xiaohu to the level 7 of Nuguri. You're 20 CS down, and now he's got friends here.
He's got friends, but no wave just yet. You can see there the accelerated shock blast going to do enough. Good dodge out here, but there's more people coming in. You can see Xiaohu, he's trying his best to keep the wave away as they all jump in. Tian's going to be the one to tank it up, and here's Chris to pop down the Dawning Shadow and gets himself a kill. Ming just come back up to try and trade it back. Nuguri needs to be a little bit careful as Cryin is here, but with no flash and a beautiful Vanguard, or a beautiful flawless duet, means they're able to get that one away. Oh,
Ooh. On a knife's edge. Nuguri now 3-1-1. Xiaohu is non-existent in this game as Ming, I mean, yeah, you can push your way in here, but I don't know about this.
This is delayed. This is literally delayed.
Way is on the way.
The way is on the way. Tian is there. So we have 3v3. This is Ming saying we need to get something. We need to turn this one around. They get a kill. They get another stun down. The flash away from Tian. They have to be aware of Nuguri though as he gets caught up. Double kill. And they get the Tian on the backside. That's 3 quick kills. RNG, they force it, but they make it work.
And look at Xiaohu. Xiaohu has just moved towards mid as well. He's getting all this free CS. He's catching that wave that Cryin had left to the wayside. And now RNG are at least getting something back in their favor, but it has to be with Cryin. 3 kills now on the Ryze. They will be able to turn this in towards a Rift Herald, but they have to unlock Cryin again and make sure that this guy can carry this game.
And yes, while you're forcing Ming to go around the map to put out all these fires. He's a fireman right now as he's trying to keep his team in this game. You don't really care that Gala's falling behind. Gala just has to stay safe. Gala just has to get himself up to 1 or 2 items. You know, maybe he's relevant to thing, but he's not the main carry for this composition.
No, it's really not. This is the big thing here. You've got to realize that, like, as RNG, you're trying to play at range. You're trying to get creative when it comes towards these realm warps that you can use and hopefully be able to win out in these team fights with the front line you offer with Ming and also with Wei on this Udyr. But the problem is that Nuguri doesn't care. I mean, even in this situation, like, you end up with a heap of return damage that's coming through from Nuguri onto Ming here. You can see how much damage he's able to churn out. He's got the healing as well, which is only going to be amplified with the Blade of the Ruined King. And this would have been a kill going back if Ming hadn't had that stopwatch.
That stopwatch was king right there. And good thing for RNG fans watching at home, you're able to stop the dragon stacking as well. So we're going to actually see a little bit of a later Dragon Soul as well.
But the big thing here is that as RNG, you kind of hope that's the case. Because honestly, Nuguri can just dive top lane at this stage. He's going to have Blade of the Rune King completed on his next back. Might even, there we go. Thank you very much, Nuguri. You can just move this in towards top side. Xiaohu is in immense amounts of pressure. And even though he has the flash, he's got to try and outplay so much coming from Nuguri, it's going to be nigh on impossible. So as RNG now, you're pretty much committed to trying to plug the hole on the top side of the map. And I don't know if you can do it, which is why FPX are like, right, well, we've got the TP advantage for Nuguri. We're just going to hard commit towards these dragons and use the fact that we've gained all these advantages thanks to Nuguri's superb play.
Cryin trying to steal away some chicken, while the top side, Wei and Xiaohu just trying to get Xiaohu some gold. He's 0-4-1. Blade the Ruin King, as we can see now, engaging this bot side, they are going to fully commit to it. The Feathers come back, the flash is away, but they got Tian underneath the tower. He takes one more shot and it will be traded 2 for 1. It's not the cleanest of dives, but it still works out for FPX.
At least you get to trade these turret plates, which is the big one. However, if you look at Wei, he held onto that Rift Herald. They will get this top lane tower without using that, which means he's moved to mid here and is going to be able to place this Rift Herald alongside Cryin, spreading out this gold and getting a huge amount of gold funneled into RNG.
This is the acceleration. This is the kind of plays we wanted to see from RNG. You need to go at FPX's pace. If you cannot match them, TP bot coming in as they try and take this one. Lwx has a flash, but nowhere to go.
He ain't got a prayer.
Got a prayer, ain't got a place to live, and you're going to get sent back to the gray screen. Kill to Xiaohu as well. Very important to get that gold.
Yeah, massively important getting something back onto Xiaohu. Although, resetting the bounty, I'm just going to leave that one there as well. But certainly, it does feel like at least RNG here, with the gold that's been funneled into him through those top lane towers, now that kill as well, he'll be able to put pressure onto the spot lane structure as well. It's overall just so much gold that's very quickly funneled back into this Jayce.
It's a 2,000 gold lead here for RNG. Like, out of nowhere, It was dead even. They looked like the early game had gone disastrous, if you will, and now you're fulling in a kill, loads of plates, even more plates towards this bot side. You've opened up the mid lane, you've opened up the top side. Yes, you will trade it back, but this is very much net positives for RNG as FPX try to build back that momentum.
It's making the best of a bad situation, but honestly, like, Nuguri is still huge. There's the assassination!
Oh, there it is, the flash though, and Lwx does not flash after him as he knows that Wei is here. There is the onslaught of shadows on top of him. They do try and lock him down and take him out. It is Cryin, but a flash forward with the Vanguard's Edge as Nuguri knows he is the carry. The rest of RNG though are here. Vanguard's Edge is not going to be enough. The flawless duet is not going to be there as they try and turn this one around. Nuguri is still going, he's still pushing. He will eventually be taken down. And now the rest of the fight comes in. Here's the flash. Tian goes in, gets himself flash bear slap, and on top of that gets himself a kill. Doinb flash forward, lasers him all the way down, and now Gala hasn't got a place to go. He's got a flash. Oh! The flash! Insane from Gala, keeps it in RNG's favor.
It felt like the raid boss went down and stage 2 just hits as the rest of FPX come forward, but Gala able to get one back in their favor. Now Doinb trying to push in on towards this bottom side of the map, won't be able to get the tower, but when all is said and done, this game just got incredibly explosive with FPX bringing that gold lead back in within touching distance.
I apologize to anyone with headphones because I am just going absolutely off right now. And again, this game has it all, the mechanical plays. Nuguri survived for so long. That little bit of extra time gave time for Doinb and Tian to get down into the bot lane. Gala doesn't blow his flash. Let's have a look at this one, because this was just such a long fight.
Yeah, Lwx doesn't have his own escape here because he's already used the killer instinct to try and finish off the RNG top laner. Now though, Nuguri, like, he's dashing around this fight. I love this flawless duet. Stuns 2, stops the follow-up damage while he's CC'd. Now, obviously there's more to come, but we got to bring back to live is Nuguri.
Nuguri has no flash, has got the flawless duet. You can see the instant hesitation. Instantly, you do not know how good this man can be with this skill shot. As he gets himself out. They didn't lace anything, he didn't lose anything. They got themselves out, and we bring ourselves back down.
But I want to take a look at what's happening elsewhere in the map. We've been hyper-focused on this top lane. Doinb is free farming in this top side of the map. He's got a 20 CS lead. He's got 2 kills for himself as well. Lwx is still very much getting to places on this Kaisa as well. Like, this is not just a top lane. This is so much more for FPX as well. But when we turn our attention across the opposite side, 5 kills to Cryin. Everfrost already completed. He is going to be so good at offering a CC lock for Nuguri whenever he tries to come into these fights.
Important to recognize as well, Gala picked up 2 kills. Gala has actually kind of made up a little bit of that deficit where he just wasn't able to farm. He wasn't able to continue kind of like free farming in that bot side because Ming was roaming around trying to get his team back into it. Here we go, thank you so much, production, as we look at the gold here. It's Cryin versus Nuguri. Then you got Lwx, but as I say that, great pick here, Cryin finds someone with the Everfrost.
And that's the power of the Everfrost in these fights. This is why you take this item. When you've got crazy gamers is the term I picked up from Europe, when you've got all these dive-heavy champions that are going to be running you down, this is the build. This is the item you want. Because as they jump in on top of you, like Tian, like Nuguri, even heck Lwx in this scenario as well, you get the point-and-click CC from Ryze, you get the follow-up with the Everfrost, and allows Xiaohu and Gala to deal with these divers so much better.
All right, everyone. Take a drink, take a breath, let's calm down.
Hydration check.
Hydration check. Make sure you're sitting up properly or leaning forward, whichever one works. And let's get ourselves back down to 0 because this game is probably going to get back to 100 fairly soon. And we want to make sure that we're properly prepared for it. So now, looking at the items as we hit 16.5 minutes, like you mentioned, the Everfrost, you have 2 items onto the Jayce as well. So Xiaohu isn't a poor man anymore, and looks like FPX want to try and get more gold into their pockets with this Rift Herald in mid.
You can see a huge amount of self-heal coming in for Gala as well. Having the Gale Force build there, making sure that he's able to reposition alongside having that ultimate, means that he's relatively safe from the dive levels of FPX. But it really is going to come down to execution in these fights. If Nuguri is able to run amok in these backlines, now with the Stride Breaker complete, even though you might have that Gale Force, Nuguri can still chase you down.
Nuguri has the Stride Breaker. It's got the Blade of the Ruin King as well, of course. You know, changed very much when the items got changed in the preseason. Now gives you just a passive slow rather than an active, so has to get those auto attacks off in order to get it. But you got the Zhonya's now for Cryin. Your Everfrost completed as well. This Ryze is very much accelerated, is very much in a position where it can split push and not be as afraid.
Not against Nuguri though. That's the only caveat. And that's where the problem lies, right? Is that even though you would love to have Xiaohu and Cryin being able to play these side lanes and trying to make it work, the fact that Nuguri is so strong means it's nigh on impossible to do so, because whoever ends up at the unfortunate end of Nuguri's sword is going to really feel the pain. And you see even Nuguri down here trying to see if he can pick off Xiaohu as he pushes out. So for RNG, it very much comes down to how do we try and play these team fights? Can we prevent this dive from happening? Can we shut down Nuguri with the CC chain from Ming, from Cryin, and allow Xiaohu and Gala to deal with them alongside Cryin?
See there, Xiaohu, your minions are not your friends right now. They are just a vestige, or a vessel, if you will, for this Nuguri Irelia to just jump on you and kill you instantly. Goes back, picks herself up a nice tier poop boots, and RNG trying to see if they can catch someone out. Doinb has flash available. No real vision.
They're trying to wrap around mid. You can see FPX are all hovering there, but it does kind of get sniffed out as RNG will back away. And this is where we talked about the RNG game plan, where you can at least push in these lanes and then look to see if you can rotate, get creative with this Realm Warp, or use it to escape.
We go. Ooh.
He's not behind door number 1, Tian. He's not there anymore. Just about to get away.
Smoke and mirrors right there. That was maybe a little unnecessary there from Cryin, and definitely a little risky, but gets himself out. No harm, no foul. And now we wait for 2 more minutes before this dragon
I kind of like the head up from Cryin, because when you've got that dragon in 2 minutes, you have a flash on Crisp, you got the solar flare, he was coming across, you got Tian is there as well. It's just not worth running the risks, especially when you are in the finals of our spring split. And for both these teams, it means so damn much for RNG to bring themselves back onto a throne that has long been vacated from them, and for FPX, after having a very disappointing 2020, having come off of world champions in 2019, they want to show that they are back in full force in the LPL.
For this series in general, you can't go down 0-2. Then you're in best of 1 series basically for the rest of the tournament here for RNG. You have to try and equal this one up, get yourself back on equal footing, and force the kind of adaptations that we've been talking about from the side of FPX. But for FPX, they've just been showing us time and time again how good they are at just setting themselves up for success. The execution is crisp, it's clean, and it is, generally speaking, a good time for FPX fans when we move towards team fights.
And I mean, this doesn't really seem like it's going to be any different, right? I mean, we've seen the execution from Nuguri on this Irelia pick. And when it comes towards his ability to find flanks, having the first 3 towers down means they can pretty easily push in mid, start to try and get vision control, although looks like RNG trying to contest that as of right now, as Nuguri joins them in mid lane.
Gotta be careful. The CC train, the single target CC train you can get if you get hooked into the Everfrost, the Ruin Prison, you know,
depth charge,
hell, even the Feathers coming back. You have so many ways of blowing up anyone, doesn't matter how tanky or how fed they are. But you also have to respect the damage that's going to come out if you don't get that combination off quick enough.
And you have to play this fight so smart as FPX, because whoever you dive on, there's so much survivability with Kaisa, or sorry, with the Xayah we already talked about, Zhonya's for the Ryze. I mean, even Xiaohu is probably the only target that you can really go for here as FPX.
All summoners are available. Hook does not land. And we hold our breath evermore. See, there is the solar flare. They pop down the gravity field, but it's not really working out for them. Tian is dead. Crisp next to follow, and it's a botched engage from FPX. Exactly what you said. They have so many ways of getting out. If you don't get the combination down, you're not getting the kill.
Great Everfrost from Cryin as well. Instantly locks down Tian and also locks down Crisp. They've nowhere to go, and nice kind of play from RNG to just allow FPX to run into them and turn that one around. They don't even get Nuguri or Doinb into that fight.
This just gives more time to the likes of Ryze, the likes of the Xayah, things that do kind of need those 3 items and beyond to kind of become a massive, massive threat. But let's have a look at this one again. Bot solar flare and then just good CC chain.
Yeah, they try to get onto Xiaohu, which is what we just talked about, right? The one guy that doesn't have that survivability, but great Everfrost from Cryin. You can't really follow up and there's no one CC. Oh, what the?
Lwx! What happened, my son? Where did you go?
I was just picking you up.
You were
I just said you were my favorite.
He was just hyping
what are you
up.
doing? That's just not fair.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do that.
Now you got 1-3-2 versus a 3-1-2. It's all got the numbers mixed
and
up.
And the 2-1-2 and the hotman.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going in towards this Baron as well now. TP's coming in from FPX to realize they need to try and shut this play down.
Got flash on Tian, is still available, down to about 6,000 HP. There is the gravity field to try and catch somebody out. They have got vision on it, but they don't know exactly what number it's at. They're still trying to go for it. Nuguri is here. They're waiting. He flashes forward. They're going in with the Vanguard dead. Not stolen. Nuguri is dead. RNG have the fight. RNG are taking these health bars, and RNG are in this game.
Lwx gets picked, and that's everything. RNG, they turn towards Baron. They get the kills. They're chasing after Chris. They take him down, and now RNG firmly in control of this game, which started off as such a disaster, Penguin.
They had everything in favor of FPX. You had Nuguri 1v2ing, coming out with kills, and now you're looking down the barrel of a Baron, a 5,000 gold lead, and RNG scaling up as well.
And it feels like the same as last time, where they're just not able to play through the strong point in the map. Lwx pushed up too far. You get the realm warp in from Cryin, and great job from Ming there with that depth charge just to punish Lwx. But again, I wanted FPX to be able to power through Nuguri in this top lane, commit up with Tian, make sure you go for the dives, but RNG, they are able to collect that pressure, they turn it around, and it's not like FPX were able to get anything done elsewhere in the map.
I do want to say, you know, these support bans that we talked about, the mini meta where we saw FPX putting a load into the red side, obviously RNG putting 5 in on the blue side, or sorry, on the first game on the red side. Crisp hasn't been as impactful. Ming has been the one getting the hooks. Ming has been the one setting up his team to put out the fires and continue their momentum. Crisp hasn't been able to be that for his team.
And now you can see RNG fully doubling down on this side lane push. You've got Cryin here on the bot side. Xiaohu TP's in towards mid lane to make sure they can get as much use out of this Baron. RNG realize that they have been given a gift here that they need to work with.
Oh, Crisp just jump onto the support. They will not be able to kill Ming. As I say that, the killer instinct, but they've traded their jumper.
Where are you going, Lwx?
Lwx, where are you going? He has a flash. Pixel perfect to get himself away from that one, and they're going to take the realm up to try and keep pushing him back. He's got himself a blast cone. He's just wasting time. It's a 1-for-1. Accelerated shock blast, though. And where are you going to go? Xiaohu finds you, and you're back dead.
And you've still got all this pressure. You've still got Baron for another 50 seconds. No jungler, no AD carry here as well for FPX. It's a disaster.
Still only have about 45 seconds left in this Baron push. So you're right now, you can see in the bot side, they've got Gala, they've got Xiaohu. They want to try and get this inhibitor turret cracked open. Gala has to use his cleanse. As Cryin does walk in, they only have 30 seconds. They get one more wave with this, but they should have Lwx up in time.
Yeah, but look, you can see the poke that comes through from Xiaohu. Suddenly, this is where he wants to be, being able to siege down these turrets. But, as you said, with Ming back in base, with no one really strong enough to try and force the issue, FPX will hold on towards their base. But again, we're seeing this gold lead accelerated. 8,000 gold over in favor of RNG right now. You're getting towards the 3 items. A 4th item nearly completed for Cryin as well. And for FPX, what was starting off so well is now really starting to run away from...
Xiaohu was 0-4. He is now 4. He has not died since laning phase. He's picked up 4 kills. And then you look down the board as well. 7-1-9 on Cryin, 6-1-3 onto Gala. These guys are actually stepping up and trying to make this one work for them. And as I say that, they jump in with the onslaught of shadows. Doinb goes golden. They go in with Ming as well as Chris tries to make this one work. The Chaos Storm is just keeping everyone at bay. And it is going to be Tian to fall. RNG, they don't have Baron. There's a dragon up in 10 seconds, but they're looking for more kills.
This can still be pushed forward by RNG. They may not have Baron anymore, but they can look for plays elsewhere. Ocean Dragon just spawning, so they will go and collect that. Xiaohu will move towards this bottom side of the map as well to start shoving that one in. And again, just these quick plays coming through from RNG. And when this composition for FPX is on the back foot, it doesn't work. You're not really going to get a huge amount done as Irelia if you're running away. You want to be diving in incredibly strong alongside Chris with Tian. But Tian, I mean, he hasn't done anything this game.
He talked about it, the Des talked about it, the jungle top, or even, sorry, the jungle support combination. And the first game, it looked very much like, with the Hecarim, of course, it was going to be FPX linking up there with Chris, trying to make sure they were able to get stuff going for them. Now, in this game, it looks very much like, you can see it right there, it's Wei and Ming moving forward with these 2 tanky boys, trying to get stuff working for their carries.
Xiaohu absorbing a whole heap of pressure on that bottom side of the map. 3 members of FPX trying to see if they can shut him down. Means Cryin now moves in towards this top lane alongside Wei. They're going to be able to get deep vision here. They're going to be able to prep for this dragon that's in a minute. And this is where it really starts to fall apart from FPX. They need to see if they can find a pick which can maybe, just maybe, get them control back in this game. But it's so hard to do. When RNG, they can push these waves from so far away, and there's no real opportunity for you to get back and find the control you need in your jungle.
You can see there, just the Qs, just 1,000 damage there to the small little Krugs. And RNG, they're just they're a death squad right now. It's find champion, kill champion right now for RNG, which means if you're FPX, you need to make sure that you're not stepping out even an inch, or you will be 100% punished.
So no flash on Gala, and no flash on Cryin. If Nuguri is able to finish off this Lwx Gage, which it looks like he's just backing to do, there might be an opportunity where you've got a tanky enough front line that you can maybe get into this fight. He actually goes towards the stopwatch instead here.
I actually kind of like this because he knows that if he just needs to basically buy time. If he goes a little bit too far forward, he needs to buy time for his team. The big item that I'm just noticing right now is Cryin has finished off his death cap. He has a Rabadon's in his back pocket, as we can see. Ooh. Ming, it's all right. No worries about it, buddy. You'll have that cooldown up in a few seconds. But this top side of the jungle belongs to RNG, and it's about how they execute around this Baron.
FPX are looking for the Nuguri TP. They want the home guard. They have it there. There it is. Right in behind it. RNG have no idea this is going on.
They have no idea where he's coming from. They haven't got an idea right now. We actually see they're going to use the depth charge to try and jump in on top of him. They're going to try and burn down the jungler that's way down. And Ming finds the hook! Ming, again and again, has kept this team afloat, and that's all it's going to be for the side of FPX. RNG, they lose the first game, they strike back in the second, and we're going to have a tied-up series.
It all comes down to a single best of 3. RNG will be able to push this in and close out this game. What looked like a game that was set for disaster now is returned to RNG.
RNG will not be swept today. They took their cuts, they took their bruises, they took their lessons. They've come into this final much stronger, as we can see the futile attempts to defend their base. Nexus turret 1 and 2 have fallen. The Nexus is dead. RNG strike back.
And RNG take this game in their stride. despite the fact that you saw Nuguri being able to go 1v2, 1v4 and still get kills, it didn't matter. FPX couldn't get anything else done on the map, and RNG are able to fight back with Cryin, being able to use those round warps we talked about, getting up to turn around this top lane play. And from that situation, Cryin is a monster in these fights. The Everfrost usage was on point, his CC targeting was beautiful, and the amount of damage this guy churned out was insane.
Again, right towards the end there, I still like the call from FPX. They realize they're in a losing game. They realize that the longer this goes on, if they're able to set up, if RNG are able to set up, we don't have a look in. They went for the play. I like that. However, Ming's hook to stop Nuguri from getting anything whatsoever was literally the whole reason they came out of that fight. And I really do want to highlight for them. Ming has been the difference in this game. Crisp and Tian, invisible. Might as well have been mute. No impact on this game whatsoever. Versus Wei and Ming, and even Ming in the first game, just all over the map, making sure they didn't fall down the hole.
Tian in particular as well, because I feel like when you've got a winning matchup like Nuguri in that top side, it becomes very easy to either, one, double down on it, right? I mean, the analyst has talked about it last game for RNG. But even if RNG commit multiple members top side, FPX got nothing, right? It never felt like they were answering back elsewhere. And when we talked about, a 4-man play topside, I was like looking at the minimap going, hey, I mean, you gotta answer here, guys. You gotta do something, but it just never really came to.
Yeah, and then, like you've mentioned it before, of course, if you watch the LEC, Cagerel talks about it a lot.
Yeah.
When you get to the top end of League of Legends, it becomes a chess game almost. It's like your move, my move, your move, my move. And if you're not making a move and just letting the other team go with it, that's just kind of how it goes. And we'll see now as we go off into a break, we'll see what our analysts have to say about that game too, and we'll get ourselves ready for